What's happening, guys? This is Logan Robinson from BucsGameday.com. We're here live on a wonderful, fantastic Friday afternoon. We were just just 48 hours literally from the Buccaneers kicking off their season. And I think, along with all of us on here at Bucs Game Day, I think we're in for a fun season ahead for Tampa Bay. With me this afternoon is River Wells, our lead editor at Bucs Game Day, and all the way to the other side is one of our top reporters, JC Allen. Gentlemen, the vibes are great. It's beautiful weather down here in Tampa. How are we feeling? It's game week finally.
It's pretty exciting. You kind of wait the entire off season, and it feels like this day will never come. And then now it's finally here. So getting a little taste of that on Thursday on the first game. We got a Friday game tonight, of course. Mm-hmm. So that'll be fun. But then your Tampa Bay Buccaneers will play on Sunday. Big game, division game. I'm pumped.
I'm going to channel my inner Todd Bowles from last year. I'm excited. And then I'll also channel from this year. I'm excited.
Excited.
I can't wait. Yeah. River said football back last night. Spitgate already underway. Yeah. Everyone's talking about it. Tonight we're going to have field conditions gate when they play in Brazil again with awful field conditions because it's a soccer field. Hopefully they learn their lesson. Did you see the video of the Chiefs were practicing at a local park? Like they just went and painted lines on it. That's crazy to me. But Bucs football's back, so who cares about any of that? Sunday, we have Buccaneers football at Atlanta. They're trying to get that revenge, that payback, although it's not really on any of their minds. I was asking guys in the locker room. They're like, oh, what do you mean? I was like, they swept you last year. Like, oh, yeah, we just want to beat them. We don't care about last year. It's a new season. So I'm sure some of them have a little bit, right, in the back of their head, but they're playing it off pretty well. This is a divisional game. It's important to win this game. Like Houston, Jets, AFC games. This game is important. It's important to start the season on the right notes. Start to set the vibe through the division that it goes through the Bucs, and I like their odds. So we'll see how it all plays out. Big news today, leading up to it. So hopefully we get a really good game to start the season with the Buccaneers and Falcons.
Yes, sir.
Speaking on Spitgate, gentlemen, I was talking earlier with somebody, and it was actually during the game last night, and I was like, what about Jalen Carter? What are they going to do with him? Because that's before the game even began. Could he be suspended through going into the Buccaneers game here in a few weeks?
I think most.
I think it's going to be a minimum of 2 games. I think it'll be a minimum of 2 games.
That would be like a worst case scenario, because then the game he comes back is against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That would suck. That would suck for the Bucs.
He will not be particularly happy about that.
Yeah, that would suck on their end.
Good.
But it's the NFL, and they want to send a message. They want to show this is not what you do, because they have young people watching, and this is not how you should present yourselves on the field. So,
I mean, my nephew saw that
2 to 3 game window,
and he just started robbing a bank and just committing crime. That's crazy what happened. Especially that taunting penalty just immediately eroded all morality.
He hijacked a car and started speeding down.
Exactly.
We're gonna do some Georgia stuff here, man.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Chill.
Now, I think he missed the game. I think it would be kind of crazy to suspend him any more than that. But so definitely a fine. But that is something to watch. I think you're right, Logan, because I think it would be at most 2. And if it is 2, I think that would be very unfortunate for the Bucs that week. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think he served his time. 1 game suspension last night. It was before the game even started. He'll get a hefty fine, trust me. But, I wouldn't be surprised if they did go for 1 game. I don't think it'd be 2 games, but if they did go for a 1 game, just because everyone's watching this. The whole world is watching this. This is not how you want to conduct your behavior on the season opener when, again, you've got little kids watching. Everyone in the world's watching. Brand sponsors are watching and everything. So they may try to set an example out of him, but I think a fine is good enough. I don't think you need to do anything more than that. And Dak started it anyways, Dak goes, well, maybe there was some jawing back and forth, but Dak goes, I spit 1,000 times on the field. It's probably a disgusting habit.
Yeah, on the ground. Listen, Dak rage baited him. And he did it perfectly, and that's all ball on his end, man. If you're Jalen, you can't take that hook, line, and sinker. Come on.
I guess so. I mean, we can compare this to what happened with Shiloh Sanders, right? You know, that the tight end,
exactly.
Davidson rage baited the shit out of him,
and too. I would take his side too, to be honest with you.
There
you
go.
Yeah. No, that's how it goes. I think, hey, it's first game. We got another fun one tonight that I think everybody's looking forward to, all the way in Brazil as well. But interested to see how that turns out there with Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. But let's go over here, like you were alluding to earlier, JC, some big news earlier this afternoon. River was all on top of it there at practice talking with Todd Bowles. But first off, we saw Vita Vea coming in. You really couldn't tell it was him because he was hiding his face there, although he's a gigantic human, actually. But
could have been
it was good to see. Yeah, he was, as he usually does. He's hilarious because you'll be in the locker room and he's just someone that you just know you can't go over to and talk to him. Although he's obligated contractually to talk to you, but we really don't. But here he's trying to hide his face, trying to mess with the media. But
he's such a prankster, though. Yesterday in the locker room, I'm trying to conduct an interview with Yaya Diaby, and he's roasting Jacob Parrish at the podium, playing "Pretty Little Baby." It's like, and then typing in the phone, Jay Parrish sucks at NCAA. It's like, he's such a clown in the lot. But you're right, like you know when you go up to Vita Vea, he's going to give you a couple word answers, and it's not worth it really most of the time. But I love when he does this stuff. Whenever we're at practice, he's always trying to hide from us, and like, it's fun.
Well, I'm bringing this up because also, Vita, he came up on the injury report with a foot injury, and everybody's like, oh my goodness gracious, what just happened here? Because, man, all of us were there at training camp seeing him and Elijah Cansey absolutely demolish, definitely whenever the Titans came in, but also, too, just what they were doing to the Bucs offense. I mean, it was not fair at times getting to the backfield when you added in Hassan Reddick and what you got on the other side with Yaya. But to have a foot injury, this came earlier in the week. And so there was some concern there for sure from all of us. And now to see him out there, I don't see anything really wrapped up, right, River? You didn't notice anything?
Not in the locker room and not out there today. And we talked to Todd Bowles, of course, after practice. He said he's trending in the right direction. He had a great day of practice, which to me just means that he's playing. Didn't even give him like a questionable designation, although we'll get the injury report later today. We'll probably see something like that. But I think all indications are that Vita Vea will play. He will participate, and that's big for the Bucs because, he's definitely a big help in the pass rushing game. He had 7 sacks last year, and that's nice. But his main, I think, point of emphasis as a defensive tackle is his ability to stuff the run and be that plug up the gap. Mm-hmm. And with Bijan Robinson in town with the Atlanta Falcons, you're gonna want to have a guy like Vita Vea on that defensive line. So big news for the Bucs. I think it's great stuff. And definitely a sigh of relief for some Bucs fans who thought that might not be the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what Vita's known for. That's what the Bucs have been known for over the past couple seasons, is their ability to shut down the run game. And when you got not just Bijan, but also Tyler Allgeier, and Michael Penix isn't a running quarterback, but still ran a 4.4, and they'll have some design plays where he can use those legs and that speed. So, having Vita Vea out, if he wasn't out there, drastically changes the way the Bucs have to go about their game plan to try to stop him, because they don't have an equivalent on their roster. Now, they signed Jason Jones and to the practice squad, who's got similar size and did some really good things.
He's pretty big. We saw him in person today. He's a big guy.
He's still an undrafted free agent, though, and still has time to get caught up and everything like that. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get elevated at some point, especially against really strong running teams. But I expect them to bring up CJ Brewer this week from the practice squad, maybe either him or Adam Gostis, because they only kept 5 defensive linemen. But having Vita Vea there certainly is a huge, pun intended, addition for the defense, since questionable leading up to today whether he's going to play or not.
Mm-hmm. So certainly it feels like optimistic that we will see Vea there on Sunday afternoon. Now, there were some more players that Todd Bowles brought up. No shockers here with Chris Godwin or Tristan Wirfs. We know what they're going through in recovery-wise. But going over to Christian Izzy, and I know, JC, you tweeted something earlier. I'll let you touch on that. But also, too, Benjamin Morrison being out for this game. We saw him get injured during training camp and suffered whatever it was, and now him having to recover from that as well, but seemed like he'd be a good go if it was later on going into next week. River, you were talking with Todd Bowles as well. I'll let you go into that and then let JC jump into Christian Izien.
Yeah, he mentioned that it's really not as much an injury thing for Morrison. He did have a hamstring injury that he suffered throughout training camp, and he wasn't able to participate in training camp.
Yeah.
And when that's the case, and you miss a good chunk of it, you miss a lot of install work, right? Especially as a rookie, you never played in this defense before, and you miss a lot of that sort of thing. So it's more so about him not quite knowing the defense as well as he should in comparison to his other rookies. And, just making sure that hamstring is A-okay. And that combination of things, he told us point blank, straight up, he will be back next week. We're going to hold him out this week. So, Bucs fans were excited to see Benjamin Morrison's debut in red and pewter. We'll have to wait until week 2 against the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football.
And Benjamin looked really impressive, too. I was going to say during training camp, he was someone that stood out to us almost immediately once he was a full go.
Yeah.
And then, too, we'll talk a lot about Jacob Parrish and what that's going to look like for him in this game on Sunday and how they're going to utilize him. But I thought Benjamin Morrison, he's going to be a very solid player. If he's just got to stay healthy, man, that's just been the only thing hindering him right now. But JC going over to Christian Izien and someone that we all are big fans of here just because of the way that he plays. And Todd Bowles certainly loves the way this young man plays as well, because he noted him early on in training camp that he's made the 53-man roster and was making sure he told us that. But he's not going to be playing in this game. JC, take us what you're hearing and then to what this means for the defense.
Yeah, this is more of the case of a team protecting the player. He wants to be out there. He feels like he could go out there. It's an oblique injury. Bowles has commented in the past that it's more of a pain tolerance thing. He feels like he can go, likely, and the team probably feels like, yeah, you probably could go if it was a meaningful game. And not to say that it's not, but we're talking like playoff clinching scenarios because it's not that. It's more of we're going to sit you out this week, and he lost his starting job to Jacob Parrish, although he's always been this kind of freelance floating guy ever since last year, where you can play safety, you can play nickel, heck, he can play outside corner in a pinch if you need him. So Jacob Parrish will take his spot at the nickel, and if something were to happen, whether on the outside to Dean or Zion, Parrish would slide out there, which would mean Rashad Wisdom, who made the 53-man roster as an undrafted free agent from last year, spent the year in the practice squad. I have a great article up on him and some of the other undrafted late round draft picks that made the roster up on BucsGameday. Go check that out. He'll likely slide down into that nickel spot. But the Bucs have done a great job with the versatility there. You can have Ty Keith slide down there. You can have Antoine Winfield slide down there. We've heard Todd Bowles mention Zion McCollum can slide into that nickel spot if they need to. So, well, the loss of Izien's definitely is they'll feel it because of his versatility. They have enough in the tank in reserve. I feel like that if something happens, they'll be fine.
Interestingly enough, when we talked to Todd Bowles about this today, we asked him if you have a guy on the outside go down like McCollum or Dean, who would be the next outside guy? And he said it would be Jacob Parrish. So they would have to figure out what to do with the nickel spot at that point. And there's a few options there. So he said we'll have to juggle the nickel is what he's specifically
juggling the nickel. Okay.
Yeah, and I think you could use all three of those guys in that scenario, right?
Yeah.
For certain looks, you can bring Antoine down, you can bring Ty Key down, you can have Wisdom.
Yeah.
The fact that all three of those guys can play both safety spots and the nickel gives a lot of flexibility, a ton of flexibility at that spot should they need to make a move there. So
for sure,
if you're a Bucs fan, I wouldn't be too concerned over not having Izien this week. Just know he's going to be ready to go next week.
Absolutely. Now, before we get into some of the betting odds, and we're actually going to build a little parlay for you guys as well going into this one, and we'll give our 3 players to watch and score predictions. I want to ask you guys, what is the biggest storyline on the Bucs side going into this game that you're keeping a close eye on? To me, I'm looking at the offense, seeing how Grizzard runs the offense specifically, but also too how they're going to utilize Bucky Irving in that passing game. We saw some teases there in the preseason where they'll take some shots with Bucky and they'll take him deep. We also saw in training camp as well. Grizzard's really looking forward to getting this man involved with his hands. We know how elusive he is and his vision. But I'm really excited to see how Grizz works with Bucky Irving, along with, too, having to adjust with not having Chris Godwin in this game, along, too, with Tristan Wirfs. That's probably my biggest one. I don't think it's going to be a much crazy difference in it. game scheme for them offensively, but I'm interested to see how he utilizes some of this personnel, because this is a different coach in his first true NFL game calling plays, but interested to see what y'all's biggest storyline is for the Bucs.
I would say it's got to be defense, right? Last season, the Atlanta Falcons torched this defense, and a lot of teams did in the passing game. It was extremely easy to pass on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and whether or not that was because of injuries, because the personnel was lacking, or because of a scheme thing with how much Todd Bowles ran zone, and there's a lot of things that go into that. But we have a revamped defense here. We got extra pass rush from Hassan Reddick, which could help free up Yaya Diaby. And with that in mind, this secondary, when Jacob Parrish, Tyke Smith moved back, it's a bit of a different look of defense personnel-wise. But Todd Bowles is still calling the plays and still his scheme. So I think it would be a really good showing if the defense could limit some of the passing attack, specifically from Michael Penix Jr., who they've never seen before, and who Michael Penix Jr. has never seen the Bucs defense before. Todd Bowles has often been somewhat of a rookie killer, and Michael Penix Jr. is not a rookie per se. He played last year. This is his first time against a Todd Bowles style defense. So they gave up a lot of passing yards to Kirko Chains in 2024. They can't give up a lot of passing yards again this season, and I think it'll be a good test against a offensive coordinator in Zach Robinson, who seems to have done pretty well against the Bucs last year. If you can shut down too many big explosive passing plays, I think that's the defense they'll be looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I think you both make solid points there. Nanad, our friend from Syria, Vita Vea is expected to play, even if it's in a limited role. Benjamin Morrison will not play. Just want to clear that up. Hello, welcome in from Serbia. But I think you both make great points. I think the biggest talking point here is Charlie Heck on the offense. How is he going to do? What do the Bucs need to do to limit any pressure that he's going to feel? Is it 12 personnel with Cade and Payne out there? Is it Cade over there to help Chip? Is it Payne over there to help Chip? What do they do on the offensive side? But the defensive side is full of new pieces, and I am really just excited to see what it looks like. We've talked a lot about the addition of Hassan Reddick and how that opens things up for everybody else on this team at every single level, because you can't double Vita Vea and you can't double Yaya now. Or you can't double everybody, all four of those guys. And I think getting home with four was, as we can all talk about, was a bit interesting to watch last year, because it didn't happen often.
No, it was awful.
So, with the addition of Hassan Reddick, with the addition of a healthy Servassier Dennis, who, again, all we're talking about is coverage, when that was the biggest question when he was coming out. But how do those pieces also help the secondary? You're getting more pressure on the quarterback. He's got to get the ball out quicker. If they're there, Aaron throws. That turns into interceptions and turnovers. We've seen the Bucs kind of take a different approach with their corners, playing closer to the line in some instances. And we saw the turnovers they had in preseason. So for me, it's going to be watching the addition of Hassan Reddick, how that opens up things for everybody else, how it opens up things for the guys in the secondary to make plays. And, of course, another shameless plug, the big three, Kalijah Kancey and Yaya Diaby and Servassier Dennis, who were drafted together in 2023, have talked about playing together, and now they're going to do it. Story up on BucsGameday. Go check that out. I'm excited to watch how all three of those guys perform.
Got tons of great content coming to you guys for this week at BucsGameday.com. Just like JC was saying, and River and the team are absolutely crushing, and it's not going to be just a week. It's going to be all throughout the season as well. Also, too, on our YouTube channel, if you're here right now, smack that like button. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us, even from Serbia, man. We're going international out here. So shout out to everybody tuning in. Smack the like button. Try to get to 50 likes or something on here, but we're going to have tons and tons of content coming your way all across the board. We're going to introduce something this year in our game previews here on our live streams. We're going to go over and do some parlays, because, sports betting is huge. I do it on my end. I was doing it last night as well. But I thought I'd throw up here the FanDuel latest odds and bring up what the spread is, which still the Bucs are favorites. It's tightening up. What was it a couple weeks ago? I feel like it was 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, and it's trimmed down now to -1.5. Your money line,
big home bump for the Falcons for sure.
Yeah. And then your over under is at 47.5. What stands out to you guys the most in just these regular game lines?
1.5 makes sense, I think. Division game, week 1, close game. It's going to be a tough game for both teams. We'll get a little bit more into our game predictions later in the show, which is fun. And we'll also have our game predictions from the whole staff on BucsGameday.com tomorrow. So make sure you guys are all looking for that. But going to be a tough game. Big one to start the season, like JC mentioned. A lot of stakes on the line, especially because the Bucs don't play a lot of NFC South games before their bye week, which means that if they are unable to take this dub, they're going to be playing catch up towards the back half of the season. So pretty interesting. Over under here, 47.5. We'll see how this Bucs offense looks, because this Bucs offense is notorious for scoring a lot of points. So might be good to take the over on that one. We'll see how
I'm feeling over.
I'm feeling under.
You're opposite.
Yeah,
oh, you got under on there.
I got
to go 2 out of 3. For some reason, I'm giving the over here on where I think the Bucs score a good bit, and then defense. We're going to see how healthy Vita Vea is, but I think the Falcons will be able to find the end zone a few times. I'm a lean over here, I think. 47.5.
Week 1. None of these quarterbacks have played in the preseason. It's always sloppy on offense. I'm going to go with the under on this one.
Okay.
Just because I'm adding my score prediction up and it's under. So.
There you go. So you're forced to.
Well, I just think, again, sloppy offense is going to be sloppy.
Yeah. Now let's jump over
missing a right tackle too, missing a left tackle. Both of these, that's a lot.
Who's finding the end zone for the Bucs in this game? I mean, an easy one here is -120 for Bucky Irving.
We got a +115 from Mike to find the end zone.
That's kind of delicious there
all day.
That's kind of tasty. I'm adding that. Let's do that. Why not? Right?
For sure. Absolutely.
What is the pass? Let's see what passing has for Big. 239.5 for this one. Ooh,
interesting. And Josh Gazard's first game as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah. And then you've got passing touchdowns, expected to throw 2 touchdowns there. Let's see passing yards, or who has the most passing yards, Baker Mayfield or Michael Penix Jr.?
Baker Mayfield.
I would say so as well.
I mean, that feels like a nice steal. That's only -128.
2 rookies in the secondary. I like Billy Bowman and Xavier Watts a lot coming out. Like, I really like both of those players.
I was a big Watts guy.
Watts he's a turnover machine. And Mike Hughes isn't that great. AJ Terrell, Jesse Bates. That right side is going to be strong. So I expect a big game from Emeka on the left side. But and they'll move them back and forth. But Emeka usually works Mike usually works mostly on the right. They'll move them all around. But I see Baker being able to complete some passes on these guys.
I like that. That puts us at +427. I don't want to end there, though. I want to go over to Bucky and see what they have him at for the rushing yards. I don't know where. Let's see.
Probably rushing props.
There we go.
There you go.
We'll take that.
That's handy.
All right. Wow, 70.5 for Buck. The first game of the season.
I'm over.
Going over on that?
Their defensive line is probably one of the worst defensive lines in the league. They've got 2 defensive ends that are moving over to defensive tackle. Caden Ellis, he's a pretty good linebacker. He's more of like a rush specialist, blitz specialist, but he's really solid against the run. He's not good in coverage, really. But they'll have Jesse Bates flying down. Xavier Watts isn't really known for. That's one of the knocks on him was, as a run support type of guy, good in coverage. Obviously a turnover machine, but he's not an in the box kind of guy. And Billy Bowman's more of he can play the box and he's going to play nickel, but his strength coming out wasn't run defense. So.
Hey, that's nice. I mean, our parlay is looking pretty good because you don't necessarily need to take the yards for Baker. We just need him to beat Penix. And I almost went that route, man. I watched too much of that video of him getting trolled in the Dallas Cowboys stadium.
The news?
Yeah, that was hilarious. But I'll put this down here over, and then our guy here, David Zusman. Hopefully I said their last name correctly there, but he's got a Kalijah Cansey sack.
I'm all on it.
I'm on it too. I've been high on Cansey since we saw him in training
camp.
What
is that, +144? I'd take that.
Sign me up.
That's a good deal.
Look at that, right? That is
Dang,
delicious up there. Plus,
Yeah.
two. You don't have to even throw that much on here, ladies and gentlemen. You just
Who's
throw
that?
a $5.
Who said that? Who put that out there? Realtor David Zussman. You must have watched my podcast, didn't you? I think Elijah's going to be the be co-defensive MVP. I think he's going to make the Pro Bowl. I think he's going to have 10 and a half sacks. I think he's going to have a season.
I think
that's a bold prediction. I wish there's another place to see some other bold predictions that you have.
Well, you could do that at BucsGameday.com.
You could. You
only site
10 of them
dedicated under Sports Illustrated to your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But this is a great one. He's also thrown in here Penix to throw a touch or throw an interception. Where in the world would that be in this? Just to take a peep. Not that we need to add it because we are trying to be
passing props.
All right, there she is. Is it up? Where the heck is it? Oh, there she is. Boom. Throw an interception. What does that do to us up there?
Minus.
Oh, it doesn't include. Not including. Huh. Interesting. Won't let us include that to our 5-legger. But still, nonetheless, 5 for 114. Oh my goodness gracious, that's a great parlay right there.
All right, let's juice it up. Put 10.
Yeah, let's see that. That's going to put us at couple $100 right there.
Oh,
29.
How we could split 3 ways. Yeah,
exactly. So we got over 47.5 on total points. Mike Evans anytime touchdown. We got Baker Mayfield having the most passing yards over Michael Penix Jr. And then you've got Bucky Irving over 70.5 rushing yards. And Kalijah Cansey, can't wait to see that man play. I think he has a monster season ahead, just like JC said as well. That's going to do it for our parlay there between the Bucs and the Falcons. Let's move over now real quick. 3 players to watch on the Buccaneers side. There's a lot of storylines going into this, but who are y'all's top 3 to watch going into this season kickoff?
I think it's Charlie Heck, number 1.
Yeah,
I think all of us is Charlie Heck is definitely a guy that I would put out there as one of my $3 to watch. A lot riding on him, He luckily the Bucs have had a full month and plus to figure this out, and like I said, it'll be interesting to see who's going to be out there. If he's going to be on his island sometimes. Again, he's going against rookie pass rushers and Leonard Floyd. Again, track record on those guys. We'll see. But I think he's one of the top 3 to watch.
Yeah, that's a good pick for sure. I would like to watch Hassan Reddick on Sunday. You look at him in camp, he is just still very explosive, but he has not played football in quite a bit at a extended rate, right? So if he can't get it done against third-string tackles, that would be concerning. So I'm expecting both him and Yaya Diaby to feast on this Falcons line and for Todd Bowles to put them in the right positions to do so. But I think it's still good to note where exactly he's at after missing some time at the NFL level. And we'll definitely find out, I think, on Sunday with a weak Falcons offensive line to take advantage of.
Yeah. One that's been talked about a lot is Frosty Dennis and being fully healthy and through a training camp and everything. That's one that I don't know if it's not just like a big name of like Mike Evans and Bucky Irving and such, or Hassan Reddick, but like it's in that realm of, Charlie Heck and Frosty Dennis. Dennis is going to play a big time role and moving forward with this defense. He is the future at linebacker for the Bucs, and this staff feels so highly on him. They felt that way since he's arrived from Pittsburgh, but really excited to see what he's going to bring to the table on Sunday because I know he's fired up. We heard from him. He feels like he's in a really great spot to begin the season. So it's going to be a pivotal game for him, I think, to begin off the season.
And then the bonus one time, guys.
Oh, we love bonuses. We love
Emeka Egbuka.
Of
Starting
course.
at wide receiver, that's going to be a real fun to watch and to see if he can translate all the hype that he's had. I don't even know if you can call it hype, guys. I mean, it doesn't look like we're watching a rookie out there when we're going through things. And when you have members of the organization comparing you to Chris Godwin Jr. and present day Amon-Ra St. Brown, I mean, I know they're going to hype their own guys up, but
that sounds like a lot of hype to me.
When it matches the eye test, though, River, no, does it not?
Yeah.
He looks very clean. Looks very polished. He looks those high floor type of prospects becoming a lot more valuable in today's NFL, and it really looks like Emeka Egbuka is one of those guys. So.
Yep. But let's jump over to some score predictions, gentlemen. It's 1 p.m. kickoff, Fox in Atlanta. the Bucs looking for some revenge here after not having so much success against the Falcons last year. Who wants to go first in this one?
Let boots on the ground go first.
Oh,
Right,
man.
you were there today. You got to see the team.
I did.
How was Todd Bowles? What was the Todd Bowles check here?
Mood check. Confirm that they're still there.
Yeah, they're still okay. And Todd
Bowles,
be
following them too.
Yeah.
Was Todd Bowles in a good mood?
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty excited.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to this matchup. I think this is going to be a bit of a tight one. I'm going to go 27-21 Buccaneers for the win. Yeah. I think the Falcons might score a little bit with some of their weapons, but I'm thinking Josh Grizzard's debut is going to go decently well, get some points on the board, maybe some defensive turnovers can help flip the field for the Buccaneers at some points, which they need some more of that. So I think Bucs take it by 6, get their first NFC South win, and then they'll have to wait a trillion years for their next NFC South game.
It's true. It's true.
Hey, I'll go next. Unless you have anything more, River.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Bucs. I'm gonna go Bucs 30, Falcons 21 in this one. I think Grizzard once again it'll begin the conversation of how long can they hold on to a offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay. That's just going to be what we're going to leave away with talking about. But I think Bucky has a great game in this one, to be honest with you. I think Mike Evans had an excellent training camp. If we kept leaving every day, gentlemen, and talking about Mike Evans, he was the best player on the field, and it was just on a consistent basis. Mike Evans is in a groove. We saw him at the event earlier this week as well, and he's determined to get that 1,000 yards. He wants to get it earlier in the season as well. I think it starts off hot, and this team wants some revenge. And Baker, if you think about going back to his Oklahoma days, that guy loves revenge, and you can definitely, that's something they've talked about this week within their locker room. And I think it's we brought up most certainly in that pregame speech that they need to take care of business, and it's a very, very, very important game. Yes, I know it's up there in Atlanta, but some of these guys feed off that, and you're lucky that it's your quarterback one with Baker. So that's my score. I feel confident in it as well. What do you got, JC?
I wonder how Baker Mayfield's going to wake up feeling on Sunday.
I'm not going to ask him anymore. I'm not going to ask him that anymore.
How do you wake up feeling, Bake?
I think that ship has sailed. I love that you brought up Mike Evans in midseason form and you think that he's going to get 1,000 yards before the end of the season?
I think so. Yeah.
A bold prediction time.
Yeah, there you go. Bold prediction.
Another bold prediction. I have him locking it up by week 14. I'm not going to give you any more, but I do have him getting it early. It's 71 yards. Go read the rest of it over at BucsGameday. I've got the Bucs winning this game. I just think that they're the better team, top to bottom. I think there's question marks on this team, but I think there's more question marks surrounding this Atlanta team. They haven't had a pass rush since John Abram was there in like 2000. And they invested picks into that and free agents in that. But what does it look like? Who knows? Rookies in the backfield. Penix only 3 games starting, not against a guy like Todd Bowles. Yes, concern. Rams, Zach Robinson is the offensive coordinator. Rams have had Bowles' number for a while, and people who run this system do. But the Bowles has had 2 years going up against it. I think he's going to be fine against it. I think the Bucs have the dogs to get it done. I have the Bucs winning this game 24-17. So again, lower scoring. I think it's going to be a little sloppy. I still think Bijan gets a touchdown. Penix throws his first. Younghoe Koo kicks a field goal. And then, Bucs, maybe Mike Evans, maybe who do we pick? Mike Evans for a touchdown?
Mike Evans score a touchdown.
Let's go Mike Evans for 1. Let's go Emeka Egbuka for 1 and Bucky Irving for 1.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
2 passing for Baker, 1 rushing for Bucky, and Chauncey McLaughlin with a nice field goal.
Of course. That's how you pronounce that. Yeah.
Chauncey.
Yeah.
There's a question here from Wayne on Facebook. Shout out to Wayne for tuning in. Do you think Jamal Dean will last all throughout the season?
That's fun because I think JC actually had an opinion on this, but I wonder where you could find that.
Everything's just being
bold prediction.
And his bold predictions. I think we can talk about this over the podcast. I think Dean is a good player whenever he is in and healthy. Good coverage player. I like him as a man guy, and Todd Bowles with a lot of zone. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that goes. He's not been able to stay healthy, and there is this sort of underlying wonder that if Dean gets hurt at any points to begin the season and Benjamin Morrison comes in, and if he plays well, when it's time to give it back, will he? And I thought Dean had some rough plays overall in preseason when he was in. He's got to get back into that mindset, and I think he can be a good guy that can maintain that starting job the whole time. But whether or not he lasts all season, that's going to be an interesting prospect because he's never played a full season of NFL football. So you got to wonder if he'll be able to do it this year.
It's part of the issue. Dean was never a turnover guy. He's always been more of a pass deflection, pass breakup guy. Part of the issue Bucs fans have with him is I hate to give them more ammo, but to blame Todd Bowles. When Jamal Dean is playing press man coverage, he's one of the best cornerbacks in the league. He's one of the most physical cornerbacks in the league. He's one of the fastest cornerbacks in the league. He can jam you at the line and has the speed to catch up with you. When he's playing off in zone, it completely takes him out of where he excels at the game. So it really puts him in a bind. Obviously, the lack of interceptions hurt too, but River, I mean, I'm with you. If he gets hurt at any time, Benjamin Morrison's not going to give it back. But I'll take it a step further. If Benjamin Morrison balls out in practices and comes down with interceptions and is looking like the guy that was a first-round draft pick who slid to the Bucs in the second round, it might not even take an injury. I mean, he just might show more talent and more ability on the field during practice, and they're like, we're going to go in a different direction. And maybe that frees up Dean to be trade fodder towards the deadline or something like that, or just keep the depth there. I don't think they trade him. I think they really want to keep that depth there because of last season. But I don't think it's just an injury. I think it could just be Morrison's more talented than Dean. Dean was what, a third-round pick, fourth-round pick? Talent disparity. We'll see.
This is hilarious. Binkus here on YouTube saying, I've got the Bucs winning this game, and I don't get to give a whooping fund what the score is. Just get the W. And I think that's everybody. At the end of the day, NFL games are very hard to win. Just get the win at the end of it. I'll finish off here, gentlemen. Which other games are you looking forward to the most this upcoming weekend? I'm a diehard Steelers fan, so it's going to be fun watching Aaron Rodgers go off against his former team with the Jets. So that one, I hope it's going to be fun. I hope it's going to be fun. I am nervous as hell what the offense is going to look like, but we'll see. I know my defense gets me every year, but all decides on what my OC is, and I'm not too pleased with that. A good old Arthur Smith. But anyways, that's the game that I'm keeping a close eye on just to see what that's looking like. But any other games that to you stand out?
Well, the two obvious ones would be Lions, Packers, and then Bills, Ravens. I'm going to go with a different pick. We've got two former Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinators coaching against each other. It's going to be Panthers and Jags, Liam Cohen versus Dave Canales, going to be on Sunday. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to take the Jaguars in that one. I think I like the roster a little bit better, and I think Liam Cohen's going to do a good job in Jacksonville personally. I don't know how good they're going to be this year because they still have some ways to go with roster building, but I think they're going to do a good job. So that'll be a fun one. I think the Panthers will start off 0-1 after losing to the Jaguars.
Yeah, I think you guys, besides your case, Logan, I think you guys made a great case for games to watch. Ravens Bills is going to be fun. Lions Packers is going to be fun. Micah Parsons, certainly the one River just snaked me on was the one I was going to say. Panthers Jags is going to be great. As you can see, I'm looking forward to see the truth, which is Drake May go up there and beat Tom Brady on Spy Tech. So I'm looking forward to that. But the one that I'm going to go with is the one that has a lot of implications next week. That's Texans versus Rams. I'm excited to see that one. I want to get a look at what this Texans offense and defense looks like after another year. The Rams is always a good, fun team to watch. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams over there now. That's going to be a fun 1-2 punch with Kyron Williams in the backfield. So we'll go with, obviously, Patriots. I want to see what Drake May and Stephon Diggs looks like. But Texans, Rams, for a multitude of reasons, is going to be another fun one, I think, too.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for our show this afternoon. If you enjoyed it or want to see more of this, hit the like button down below. Also, feel free to hit that subscribe button, too, as well. Hit the bell next to it as well, because you never know what kind of videos or if there's any breaking news, we will go live on here as well. So make sure you hit that bell next to the subscribe button. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us the entire offseason. Tons of coverage. We're just getting started over here at BucsGameday.com. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's week and enjoy the weekend. Tampa Bay Bucs versus Falcons, 1 p.m. Fox kickoff. See ya after the game.